The B2 Spirit bomber is an aircraft that no missile can effectively destroy, even if one attempts to do so. Although it appears as large as an entire football field on the enemy's radar, it is perceived only as small as a tiny fly. Regardless of how intricate and complex the radar network may be, for the B2 Spirit bomber, circumventing it is remarkably straightforward. Constructed at an expense of $2 billion, it stands as the most expensive aircraft ever created. In comparison to other jets, it is not only exceptionally quiet but can also effortlessly outmaneuver heat-seeking missiles along with infrared-guided missiles. A vessel that possesses the capability to alter the geographical map of the world if it so desires. However, the question arises, why is a ship with a width of 152 meters not detected on radar systems? What sort of scientific innovation is concealed within it that the United States has been keeping confidential for the past 37 years? In the MTV video, once again, we extend a warm welcome to our viewers. Behind the creation of this B2 bomber lies an event that brought embarrassment to America on a global scale. It was provided initially in the year 1960. A Lockheed U-2 aircraft originating from the United States departed from Peshawar Air Base situated in Pakistan. It was engaged in a covert CIA mission aimed at surveilling the Soviet Union. This occurred during the period of the Cold War, a time when both the United States and the Soviet Union were endeavoring to surpass one another through their technological advancements. The United States took immense pride in the fact that its U-2 Lockheed reconnaissance aircraft could soar at an altitude of 80,000 feet, and at such an elevated height, nothing could potentially harm it. The US held the belief that no missile from the USSR could ascend to such an altitude. However, as soon as the aircraft penetrated Soviet Union airspace, the radar systems promptly detected it. Initially, they deployed numerous fighter jets and launched a multitude of missiles. However, striking at such an elevated altitude was genuinely beyond their capabilities. Nevertheless, the Soviet Union's military subsequently locked their S-75 missile onto the aircraft and launched it. The United States was cognizant of this missile, yet they held the belief that the Soviets' S-75 was incapable of reaching such a high altitude. However, what transpired next was beyond the United States' imagination. The S-75 missile successfully struck the U-2 Lockheed reconnaissance aircraft soaring at an altitude of 80,000 feet with remarkable precision. The aircraft subsequently crashed over a city known as Yekaterinburg, and the pilot managed to eject himself safely. Initially, the United States asserted that it was a NASA weather research aircraft, but when the Soviet Union unveiled the captured pilot along with the U-2's surveillance equipment to the international community, the United States encountered considerable embarrassment on a global scale. This incident taught both countries a proper lesson. After this, Russia, that is, the Soviet Union, began working on their air defense, and America started working on technology that would literally become invisible in front of radar. During that period, the United States possessed B-52 bombers. However, following this incident, it became evident that these aircraft would be intercepted and destroyed before penetrating Russian airspace. This implied that the United States, even if it desired, could not deploy its nuclear arsenal against Russia. Subsequently, by the year 1976, the Soviet Union had advanced its surface-to-air missile systems, developing capabilities to target and eliminate aircraft from distances extending up to 100 kilometers, including the formidable S-300. They were included too. During that period, the Soviet Union's air defense systems had become exceptionally robust, to the extent that a general from the United States Air Force remarked that deploying a B-52 bomber into Soviet territory was akin to hurling a stone at a beehive. It was precisely at this juncture that the United States initiated the Advanced Technology Bomber, or ATB program, in the year 1978. The objective of this particular program was to develop a bomber aircraft capable of penetrating Soviet Union airspace, deploying bombs right in front of their radar systems, and then exiting without detection. All these stringent requirements of the United States were successfully met by the B-2 bomber, which had its inaugural flight in 1989, although it was unveiled to the global audience in 1997. The most significant characteristic of the B2 Bombr is its remarkable capability to avoid radar detection. Each and every angle of this aircraft is meticulously engineered so that when radar signals make contact with it, they do not return to the radar system. This implies that the trajectory of those signals is altered, and consequently, its design incorporates solely wings, lacking a substantial fuselage and a tail. The vertical tail fin present in conventional aircraft is readily identified by radar systems. The air defense system's radar network constitutes an expansive and interconnected system, emitting signals in every conceivable direction across the sky to ensure that no region remains unmonitored. These radar signals generally reflect off the aircraft's structure and return to the radar system, thereby registering its presence. It is particularly challenging to conceal the vertical tail fin, due to the fact that when viewed from the side, it operates in a manner akin to a mirror for radar systems. The structural design of the B2 Spirit Bomber is meticulously engineered in such a way that, irrespective of the source of the radar signal, it cannot reflect back in the same direction after interacting with it. This is precisely why it does not possess a tail. Its design effectively redirects signals in a completely opposite direction. The remarkable success of the B2 Spirit Bomber is attributed not solely to its innovative design, but also to a specialized coating that effectively absorbs the entirety of radar signals. This coating remains a closely guarded secret, with its specific details still concealed from the global community. Due to this advanced coating, the B2 Bomber achieves complete invisibility on radar systems. Its radar cross-section is remarkably just 0.0001 square meters. Detecting it is akin to identifying a tiny fly in the vast sky. In comparison, on radar, a B-52 bomber appears as large as a two-bedroom apartment, an F-15 as significant as a small room, a JF-17 as comparable to a single bed, and a Rafale as large as a substantial pillow. Despite being 10 times larger than all of these aircraft, the B2 Bomber appears on radar only as minuscule as a fly. In the realm of aviation security, this advanced technology is recognized as stealth, and its foundational principles were established with the B2 Bomber. The B2 Spirit Bomber possesses not only the remarkable capability to evade adversary radar systems, but it also has the ability to deceive infrared and heat-seeking missiles due to its exceptionally low heat signature. Typically, air defense systems incorporate infrared surveillance mechanisms. These systems are designed to detect and confirm the thermal emissions from the rear of a jet aircraft, and subsequently, the missile system locks onto that specific heat signature. The propulsion systems of the B2 Spirit Bomber are ingeniously hidden within its airframe. Following the combustion process within the jet engine, the generated heat does not immediately exit. Rather, it is initially blended with the cooler ambient air. This sophisticated procedure guarantees that the B2 Bomber emits no detectable heat signature, establishing it as the aircraft with the most minimal heat signature globally. It's comparable to an F-16 jet, which can be identified by an infrared surveillance system from a distance of 100 kilometers. In contrast, the B2 Bomber remains undetected until it approaches within a mere 10-kilometer range. Nevertheless, it does not fly at a low altitude that would allow it to be detected by infrared radar systems. The B2 Bomber possesses the extraordinary capability to soar at an altitude of 15,000 meters, equivalent to 50,000 feet. Operating at such an elevated altitude permits it to not only avoid detection by infrared radar systems, but also diminishes aerodynamic drag on the aircraft because of the less dense atmosphere, thereby enhancing fuel efficiency and allowing it to cover more extensive distances. The B2 Bomber is capable of effortlessly covering a distance of 11,000 kilometers on a completely full tank. Now, you might assume that its capability to evade radar and infrared surveillance systems is its distinctive feature, but that is not the case. What genuinely makes the B2 Bomber an authentic stealth bomber is its ECM, or electronic countermeasure. The B2 is equipped with high-tech ECM systems. These systems first determine the frequency of the enemy's radar. Then they send false signals on that same frequency, causing the radar to display an incorrect location for the B2, or making it appear as though the B2 is in 20 different locations when in reality it is in only one place. This sophisticated system captures the radar signal and alters it prior to transmitting it back. The radar perceives the signal as authentic, but in truth it is deceptive. The most fascinating aspect is that this ECM transmits false signals exclusively to the radar that identified it, leading the adversary to suspect there might be interference or a malfunction in the radar. If deceptive signals are dispatched to all radars, the adversary might become suspicious. So the enemy might become suspicious. The structure of the B2 Bombr is predominantly composed of carbon graphite composite material. This aircraft was meticulously constructed in separate sections and subsequently assembled with the precision akin to that of a Swiss watchmaker. Now, addressing its payload capacity, it can remarkably transport 18,000 kilograms of explosives, which is comparable to the load of approximately 15 automobiles. It can conceal 80 JDAMs inside its belly, which are GPS-guided bombs. Additionally, it can carry 16 B-83 nuclear bombs and 16 AGM-158 JASSM missiles, which are stealth cruise missiles. These bombs are securely fitted within the internal bay of the B2, and the door is subsequently closed to ensure stealth is maintained throughout the flight. Regarding its range, this aircraft can travel from the United States to Russia and return, and if refueled while airborne, the B2 Bombr has the capability to reach any corner of the globe. During the Afghanistan War, the B2 Bombr departed from the Missouri Air Force Base located in the USA, 9500. After traversing a substantial distance of kilometers, it successfully executed bombings in Afghanistan and returned without encountering any complications. During this period, only a single mid-air refueling was necessary. Throughout this mission, the B2 Bombr maintained continuous flight for a duration of 45 hours and remained undetected on any radar systems. Furthermore, it was deployed for bombings in Serbia during Operation Allied Force in the year 1999. In 2003's Operation Iraqi Freedom and 2011's Operation Odyssey Dawn, the B2 also bombed Libya. The B2 Spirit Bomber possesses the capability to operate in any type of weather and under any condition. Even in the event that GPS satellites are rendered inoperative, it relies on its backup navigation system to guide itself by the stars. Outfitted with sophisticated solar cameras, the B2 Bombr is recognized as the world's largest optical avoidance aircraft. It autonomously identifies the surrounding terrain and adjusts its flight path accordingly. At present, owing to the fact that it features an exceptionally expansive wing and is devoid of a tail rudder or elevator, its inherent stability is not adequately perfect for a pilot to operate it without the aid of a computer. It is equipped with the world's most complex computer system that persistently adjusts its roll and pitch movements. The pilot merely instructs the computer to execute a turn, and subsequently the computer autonomously maneuvers the aircraft in alignment with the pilot's specific requirements. Now, it is quite evident that such a highly advanced and the world's most secure aircraft is also extremely expensive. Up to this point, only 21 B2 bombers have been constructed, and each individual aircraft is manufactured at an astonishing cost of $2 billion. This implies that the GDP of numerous countries is actually less than the cost of a single B2 bomber. All of these aircraft are exclusively with the United States, and thus far, the US has no plans or intentions of selling this technology. Additionally, the fuel consumption is such that it consumes $150,000 worth of fuel in just 1 hour. In comparison, a normal commercial jet consumes $10,000 worth of fuel in an hour. The maintenance of the B2 Bombr is also very different from any regular aircraft. After each flight, the entire aircraft is given a soft wash and a secret stealth coating is reapplied. Every corner of the body is checked to ensure there isn't even a small dent. There is absolutely no dent present here, because if even a tiny dent as small as a mosquito were to occur on its body, it could potentially lose its ability to effectively maintain stealth. I sincerely hope you all will enjoy and generously share this MTV video. Thank you very much for your wonderful comments. See you in the next incredible video.